This is a very quick introduction to the QGIS window, and we'll be looking in detail at this over the following lessons. But just to show you around it quickly, so once you install QGIS, you'll come up with an empty window like this one here. And at the top here, we're just looking at the menu, and there's lots of drop downs, lots of functionality. Underneath the menu, we have a number of toolbars which do different things, and there's also tools down the left hand side. And when you add in plugins to do additional GIS work, they will also appear here as icons. Just below that, we have the browser window, which lets us bring in satellite imagery or maps or link to spatial databases. And on the right hand side here, then we have the map window, and this is where the maps and the data will appear on the right. Linked to that on the left hand side, in this empty space here, we will have the layers data, and that will link directly to what is on the map. At the bottom then we have coordinates and scales, magnification, the projection, and that kind of information will sit down there. So let's just very quickly bring in some data and see how everything works. So the quickest way to do that on the left hand side is to click on this top icon, and again you will be going through this in detail later. We'll bring in a vector layer, and the one we'll bring in is some information about schools from Somalia in 2004. So it's an old data set, but it's one of the newest data sets on HDX, and that's what you need to be aware of when data is uploaded. It may potentially be the best data, but it mightn't be the newest data. So you always need to go and look for the newest and the best data for what you're doing here. So within this schools data, you can see that there's a pattern to it. It's inside of the boundaries of Somalia. So we'll actually just add in some additional information to make that easier to see. So we'll take in OpenStreetMap, which I have above linked up to. So we take in OpenStreetMap, it comes in on top of the schools layer. So I'm just going to put the schools back on top there, and it means that we can actually see locations and we can see the schools. It makes a bit more sense along roads. We could also add things like satellite imagery to this. Again, we'll bring it down to the bottom if that's something that you need to do in relation to your work. As you can see here, it's not very easy to see this the schools now because of the satellite imagery, but we'll go through all of how to change colours, how to change symbols, how to make maps within the following lessons.